The People vs. O.J. Simpson is the first season in a series called American Crime Story, in which the filmmakers recreate famous criminal true stories in the US. So essentially, they are all limited series independent of each other, just sharing the same name, American Crime Story, and being made by the same guys, I think. The OJ series is a 2016 10-episode drama following the arrest and court trials of famous American football star O.J. Simpson, as he is prosecuted over the brutal murders of his ex-wife and another man. It captured the public's attention, naturally, and remains to this day one of the most famous events in pop culture, because that's what it essentially became, a pop culture phenomenon. I don't really know who O.J. Simpson is, as a British dude. I have heard of him. I know he was known as a really nice guy, so nice that James Cameron changed his mind about having him play the T-800 in the original Terminator because he looked too nice, which sells to me how shocking it must have been to see this guy go on trial for almost decapitating his former wife. But since I don't really know the guy, I can't say whether Cuba Gooding Jr. did a good job playing him or not. I did think he did do a good job in the series. In fact, I think the acting all around was really good, from everyone involved. I love courtroom dramas. Witness for the Prosecution, 12 Angry Men, The Verdict, you name it. There's very few better weekend afternoons spent for me than a solid courtroom drama. And I loved The People vs. O.J. Simpson, especially as someone unfamiliar with this story who didn't know where it was all going to end up. It was so good that I binge-watched the entire season on Netflix in one day. And I usually never binge-watch. I'm the kind of guy who likes to space things out, give episodes a little bit of room to breathe, a little, time to digest. But this was such a fascinating series that I couldn't wait. And with my arse on the sofa for most of the day, by the end of the evening I had half my family sitting around me anxiously waiting with me to see what happens. Because this series is 10 episodes long, varying with episodes from around 40 minutes each to an hour, there is so much room for this series to explore. And it pretty much covers all bases from A to Z. From the murders itself, or well, the immediate aftermath, because the series never fully commits as to whether it thinks he did it or not, although there are certain insinuations that do swing heavily in one direction as opposed to the other. But you do have the murders, you have the arrest of OJ, which is a roller coaster in of itself. There's the jury selection, the preliminary hearings, the lengthy court case itself, and the aftermath. The series delves deep into the people involved with the case, like the head prosecutor, for example, and how the proceedings take a toll on her personal life. It's actually quite staggering how real the characters feel. It's almost like the series is a character study of various personalities, and the court case is simply the backdrop, the thing bringing together all these characters. Even the jury are given time, where we see how they essentially become stuck in a prison of their own, unable to talk to anyone or watch TV, just stuck in a hotel. As the case goes on, there's so many twists and turns, so many new developments, so much infighting, so much engrossing drama that makes it a joy to watch. In a way, and this is really unfair to movies, this series has kind of become what I'll judge other courtroom dramas on, because I just know when I see another courtroom drama, I'm going to be saying, well, it wasn't as good as The People vs. O.J. Simpson. I'm going to be constantly comparing, and, to be honest, I really shouldn't. As well as the controversial nature of the case as a result of the celebrity status of the defendant, there's many other elements that make it so enticing. Certain revelations are made, and I don't want to go into it for the sake of avoiding spoilers, and they really raise the stakes, and it becomes so much more than simply a homicide trial. A race row, for example, erupts midway through when one of the policemen who is involved with the discovery of the evidence that led to the arrest of OJ is discovered to be a horrific racist and has gone on record admitting to the beatings of blacks and planting evidence. This suddenly adds a new dynamic, a new layer to the entire trial. It shakes the entire foundation because what previously looked like a clear and cut case has severe doubt now, because obviously the LAPD might have set OJ up. The entire country is already in a fragile state in terms of race riots because of the LA riots, I think it was, shown in the season's first scene. This boosts the motivation of the head defendant for OJ, because he's a civil rights activist anyway. And there's a black guy on the prosecution team, whose job it is to question the racist dude in court, essentially trying to create a narrative where he isn't a racist, and he's having doubts as to whether he was really promoted to the team because of his abilities or because they needed to show a black face. So there's so much stuff going on. There's loads of stuff like this in the series. So much exploration of the characterization of all the different players involved. I really liked it. I thought it was an excellent series. It's superbly acted, magnificently written, and also the camera work. I forgot to mention, the camera work is really good. It really helps in capturing the mood the directors are going for. The sense of isolation if a character is breaking down on their own in their office, the sense of chaos as prosecutors scramble to collect their thoughts before going in. There were loads of quickfire zooms and other things implemented that are relatively unorthodox when it comes to courtroom dramas, but were really effectively used here. It's a series crafted to a very high quality, and the tone captures the huge amount of weight on everyone involved, this weight that comes crashing down on one side of the trial and mercifully lifted on the other side. When I finished it, I actually felt tired, and not just because I just watched about 7 hours of a show. You can feel the build-up of energy and stress, and the cathartic release when the trial ends is a welcome one, and brings an end to a captivating series.